Hello all and welcome to another 7 minutes or less. Now, I've been a Nintendo boy most of my life, except for a few years when I had a Sega Mega Drive, but I soon saw the error of my ways and got an N64. But any game not on a Nintendo console has pretty much eluded me, though luckily my flatmate is a PlayStation person and one set of games he said I should play was BioShock. I'd heard the BioShock games were really good, but I didn't know much about them. Apparently Justin did a review of the third game in the series, BioShock Infinite, quite some time ago, and it's completely separate from the previous two games. My flatmate got the PS4 remasters of the trilogy, so while he was playing that, I nabbed this PS3 and gave the first one a whirl. For this, I'll only be looking at the original PS3 version of the game, though it seems very little has changed in the PS4 remaster aside from giving it a new lick of paint. Anyway, I went into BioShock not really knowing much about it, so I had a lot to learn. You're kind of thrown into things very quickly with little guidance or backstory. The game starts with a plane crash where Jack, the playable character, is the sole survivor and he ends up getting into an underwater city called Rapture. Guided over the radio by a guy called Atlas, you begin to explore Rapture and piece together what happened, why you're there and what the hell is going on.
I'm Atlas, and I aim to keep you alive. Now keep on moving. We're gonna have to get you to higher ground.
The vast majority of the story is told in recordings you can find all over the place, and usually I love finding things like this and listening to bits of backstory, but with BioShock there were so many recordings by so many different people about so many different things, I really struggled to keep up and follow the plot. Some things made sense, sure, but by the end of the game I was still really confused about what was going on.
Last week, and before I could say boo, he's telling me he's got the code to his office keyed to the date of Australia Day.
When writing this, I tried to do a quick summary of the backstory and plot, but there was so much to it there was no way to sum it up quickly. All you need to know is that your main task is to help someone take down a bloke called Andrew Ryan, who not only built Rapture, but it's his actions involving a DNA adjusting chemical called Adam, and a class war that was the start of a series of unfortunate events that caused Rapture to go from a glorious utopia to a messed up dystopia.
Why aren't you? Baby and me! Baby and me!
Adam can be harvested from little sisters who are protected by big daddies, and you need Adam to buy plasmids to battle the hordes of splicers. Again, long backstory stuff with experiments, actions, reactions, people going crazy and yada yada yada. It's with the little sisters that the moral choice comes into it. Each level has a number of little sisters, and once you've taken care of the big daddy, which are an arse to defeat, you can choose to either harvest the Adam from the little sister, killing them in the process, or to save them, which lets them survive, but you only get half the amount of Adam, and when you have to make the choice for the first time, it's a rather tough decision.
Not any more of these. Dr. Tenenbaum saw to that.
Bitte, do not hurt her! Have you no heart?
Aye, that's a pretty sermon coming from the ghoul who cooked up them creatures in the first place. Took fine little girls and turned them into that, didn't you? Listen to me, Bio. You won't survive without the Adam those things are carrying. Are you prepared to trade your life, the lives of my wife and child, for Tenenbaum's Frankenstein?
Here! There is another way. Use this. Free them from their torment. I will make it to be worth your while. Somehow.
I've mentioned in other videos that when you have a limited amount of points to spend on upgrades, I don't like wasting them on items I won't use, so I tended to spend most of my Adam on the few plasmids I liked and beefing out health. There were a few plasmids that sounded fun, but seeing as blasting enemies with electricity and then shooting them in the face works pretty well, there didn't seem much point in getting other plasmids that wouldn't get used. The telekinesis was fun, and when some dick throws an explosive at you, it was very satisfying grabbing it in the air and then throwing it back in their smug face. Although you can buy upgraded versions of certain plasmids, the RPG side of things is very limited. You can use plasmids as soon as you find them. Weapons can be upgraded, but only in two aspects, and each aspect can only be upgraded once, and only as and when you come across a one-use upgrade machine. You can hack vending machines, but that just ends up becoming more of a chore. It's one of those pipe minigames where oil flows from one part, and you have to switch around the pipes to get it to flow to a designated outlet. Only a few pipes are shown at the start, and it's a pain in the ass having to uncover all the others, especially in the later levels when there are more areas you need to avoid. Certain tiles will short circuit the system or set off an alarm, so you have to work your way round them, but if you spend too long uncovering tiles, you'll fail because the liquid comes to the end of its path. If you do a few and then start the path, you could find out the path you're taking is blocked, so you failed. Then it had times the tiles to avoid blocked the exit valve entirely, so hacking the machine was physically impossible. It happened once and I thought little of it, but it happened again and again, so eventually I just didn't bother. The rest of the game reminded me a lot of Dead Space. Now, I wasn't overly impressed with Dead Space. I liked the game, but there was too much go to place A to get MacGuffin B for arbitrary reason C, to then have to go to place D for MacGuffin E for arbitrary reason F, rinse and repeat. While BioShock did have that happen a lot, the atmosphere of the game and the larger exploration options kept me far more interested and wanting to carry on. Once I finished Dead Space, I had no intention of playing Dead Space 2, and I still don't, but I started BioShock 2 soon after finishing the first one. Review of number 2 in due course. I'm not going to spoil anything with the ending, but there was a nice twist towards the end. The final boss was a bit easy and the ending was okay. There are 2 endings, and depending whether you harvest or save the little sisters determines which ending you get, but without spoilers, you're pretty much either Jesus or Satan, so make one small mistake and you might as well run down the street juggling dead babies and puppy heads. BioShock is one of those games that isn't perfect, but it has enough good aspects to make up for the flaws. The RPG side of things left a great deal to be desired, and the hacking became a bit of a pain in the ass towards the end, but the creepy atmosphere, exploration and characters kept me coming back for more, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing BioShock a lot more than I thought I would. Whether you get the PS3 original or the PS4 remaster, I'd highly recommend giving BioShock a go. See you next time.